All right, good morning. I'm just gonna do a couple of mobility / strength warm-up type exercises for you to do. This is some good stuff before a workout or before a run or before your main event, as I like to say. So I'm going to start with just some really basic thoracic opening. I get a lot of tension, restriction kind of in this thoracic region. Mostly from all the work that I do, I'm constantly pushing, picking up and holding and like scooping. So there's a lot of tension through here, a lot of tension through my core, and that just makes this area kind of sticky. So start with one of these, like a little foam pad. It could be anything that's soft, maybe like the yoga mat folded in half or something. It's just for your knee. So I'm gonna go up against a wall. This is the only wall I have in my gym. It's a couple of commercial size refrigerators that my dad is storing. So I want if my right side of my body is up against the wall, I want my right knee at 90 degrees, my right hip at 90 degrees, ankle 90 degrees, etc. And then my left hip, I want pretty straight, as straight as possible. So if you end up being like this, you really want to maybe put your hand on the front of your hip and kind of scoop it forward. You might feel a little bit of a pull in the front of the thigh. Maybe you feel a little pull here in the groin area or over the hip. That's all an indication that you need to stretch and roll out your quads and your psoas or your hip flexors. But that's okay. That's not what this is about. This is about thoracic. So get your legs at 90 degrees on the knee, 90 degrees, straight hip, 90 degree hip. And then you're putting your hands behind your head, kind of like you're relaxing on a chair or something, or in your hammock, and you want to interlace your fingers kind of behind your head. That's just for leverage, for positioning. So I'm first going to take that right elbow against the wall, and I want to use the wall to maintain contact between my right hip and my right elbow. And throughout this exercise, I'm going to be thinking about taking my left elbow and opening it up as wide as I can to the outside. So we're going to move the right elbow towards the right knee first. And while we're scooping down, I'm opening the left shoulder, looking to the left as much as I can. That's about my end range here. And then maintaining contact with the wall, going up and rotating around towards the wall, keeping my right hip attached to the wall, and then scooping back as far as I can. And then coming up around and back towards that front knee and opening up to the left. You should be using your core to really get that rotation of the thoracic spine. And up and around and back. And open that left shoulder up to the sky. And up and around and back. Rotating up to the sky with that left shoulder. And forward again. Do this last one. Down to the knee. And this should be difficult. It's not an area that we spend a lot of time focusing on rotation with. And that's why we get so congested in that mid-back. Okay, it could be different on the other side. Most likely it is. Either you might have a little bit more rotation or less rotation. It really depends on your structure and your patterning, what you do all day, how you work this part of your body, how you move your spine throughout the day. Up and around and back. Sometimes I'll feel a nice little fascial pop when I'm rotating. Really get that right elbow up and back towards the wall. Good. And rotate around and back. This side is a little easier for me. I have less restriction on my left side. Really maintain that contact with the wall. Throughout this movement, that hip should be glued to the wall. It just ensures that your lower body is not moving with you during this warm-up. The emphasis is rotation of the spine, not movement in the pelvic girdle. All right, you get the idea. Do 5 to 8 on each side, working through that kind of pushback that your body will have. Really feels so good once you get the spine moving and grooving and gliding. Get some blood flow going to the spine. This next one is thoracic spine and hip opening. It's also a strength exercise, so you don't have to use one of these wall balls or whatever you call these things. This is like a 12-pound wall ball. It's a little more of a strength exercise if you do add some weight to it. Otherwise, you can use just a medicine ball, something that's you can wrap your arms around and really stabilize your shoulders so they stay together when you move and not, if you're just holding your arms like this, they could go this way, they could go that way, they could go that way, I don't know. So you want to put them in place and lock them down. So this is, you really want to use the wall again in this exercise to push into. You want the top part of your body pushing into that wall, and it does help you stabilize a little. And you're going to come into a hinge into that right leg that's against the wall. And once you are in your forward hinge, you're gonna rotate out to the side and up with your spine. I feel this in my left outer hip and my entire core. So this is gonna help strengthen that inside part. You can do reps if you want. All of the stabilizing muscles for your spine. and a little bit for the hip too. It almost feels like you're gonna get maybe a cramp in that outer hip that's rotating up. That's how it feels for me. And again, one side will be maybe a little bit easier than the other. Yeah, so give that a try. The more you warm up your spine before you go into your main event, less injury you're gonna have.